Kunst and all.
Hey, welcome to Kunst and all. We are Lorenzo Alberti,
Nastazia Filippo,
and Francesco Ricci.
three dancers who are super passionate about giving you a peek behind the curtain of the art we create on stage.
In this podcast, we're diving deep into what really goes into putting on a show. It's not just about the dances you see on stage. We're talking about the whole crew, the orchestra, the costume designers, the health teams, the admin people, and everyone else who helps make a production happen.
Exactly. We want to share the stories of the folks you don't always see, but who make everything tick. It's all about the hard work, the teamwork, and the creativity that goes into bringing a performance to life. This is Kunst and all.
Hi everyone, welcome back to part 2 of Kunst and Recap. As we said in the previous episode, this was a longer episode we recorded between the three of us, and this is the part 2 where we continue to answer your questions and share our personal experiences in this industry and in our life in general. Enjoy! Stasi, can I ask you something?
Oh yeah, go for it.
So you have changed a few companies and ballet school, and being your friend, I know that when you went to England, it was your dream to join one of the English companies, and now that your path went somewhere else, what would you tell that young girl now?
I would tell her to not be so stuck. No, I would tell her that. One second, I need to think how to phrase this, because it's not like I want to tell her anything. I just want to tell her that life will unfold in that way because of a reason. I think when you're young and coming from a bubble of Cyprus and moving into another bubble of, the UK and my school, which was aligned with a company in England, you had the dream that, I want to get into that company. And I put such limitations on myself, thinking, but I trained in the English system, therefore I believe I suit this system and I would like to get a job there. And I've already been given the opportunity as a student to dance in the company. So you start putting these little expectations in the back of your head, at the same time being grateful and naive. But there's so much more to these expectations you put on yourself and that little bubble that you create, which I found out much later in my career. Because every time I was living in a bubble, and that bubble would just get a bit bigger, it wouldn't be so small. But I've discovered with every company that I've changed, how much more open this world is, and how it's not so fixed into what I've imagined in my head.
I agree because to give also my perspective. I had a similar experience. I was coming from a ballet school that had the company really connected to. We were in the same building. And to that 17-year-old boy that cried so much when he didn't get the contract, now I would tell him, thank God it didn't work.
No, but I said that to myself as well, because me, the psycho, even after leaving the UK and starting my first job in the Czech Republic, and then even going to my next company in Romania, I kept going back to the UK to audition, thinking maybe I should try again, maybe now after a few years. Inside, I knew it wouldn't work out. I felt it wasn't the place for me. Yet, I insisted somehow I wanted to test myself, which I don't know, it's a very masochistic thing to do, but I felt like I needed to find some kind of truth. When I went
closure.
There, I needed a closure, which after 2 auditions there, I spoke to the assistant, which I respect and I admire a lot. And I'm a bit scared of her. Let's not forget that. But she Oh, Topini. Sorry, the dog.
While my dog is choking on something at the moment. Excuse us. We'll take a little break. Come back soon.
And we're back from our little break. So I went back not knowing that that's what I was looking for. But as you said, Lorenzo, I think I was looking for some kind of closure with that whole, I don't know, weird goal I was having. And the ballet mistress there, the director's assistant, also, she spoke to me and told me that I didn't get it, that I wouldn't fit in, that they thought that when I was at school, but I was too round. So there was Anyway,
My God.
that's a whole other topic for
Yes.
another conversation. But
Yes.
I just understood at that moment that, you know what? This is not the place for me. Because I would have had a really hard time trying to fit in. I even felt that I was changing my accent to fit in that place. So it was
Wow.
kind of, I put so much thought into what I was going to wear that it almost felt like I wasn't even myself going into this audition. It was insane. And I remember after she told me the news, I didn't take it bad. I was like, okay, I understand. And she was asking me, what are you doing at the moment? And I was still a guest at Semper, and we were doing Impressing the Tsar. And I don't know why. Yes, I know. And then for some random reason, I just started describing Bongo.
Oh.
I started just telling her about this ballet from Forsyth, and it's really cool. And I was getting really into it. And I think she felt the spark in me, to which she said, you know, I think that sounds like the place for you. Which was so interesting because the week before, I was having a whole crisis week. I remember I contacted even my director, my old director from Bucharest, and I was like, I don't know, I just sent him a thank you message saying, thank you, boss, for believing in me, because I was just having a very hard time with auditions. And he was like, maybe it's not about you finding the right place. Maybe it's about the right place finding you.
That's
And
nice.
It's what I said before. It's like 50. It's like it has to go two ways.
And
it
then
has to go two ways.
It felt like a cleanse. It felt like I got what I needed to hear. I got the honesty, and I understood, and I made peace with myself. And then I was able to carry on, still without any like future prospects of, having a job. But I kind of made peace with myself that, okay, you're stopping desperate, be patient, be yourself, most importantly.
Yes.
Yeah, and maybe it's just about having a good attitude, and then when the time is right, the place will find you. The place that you deserve will find you. Yeah.
That's very nice. Thank you, Tazi, for sharing
Yeah,
this
it's
Welcome.
beautiful.
little part of your life.
I hope people can also, because this is also the reason why we did this podcast. Like, I hope people that are eventually graduating soon or like going through stuff, being professional, they can resonate and feel a bit of empathy from our experience. Because I feel it's a very
Mostly that they can relate later on, or like if something
exactly.
like this happens to them, then think about that you're not alone. That's what
It's
we
a
want to tell
very
you.
it's a
It
very lonely
happens.
profession, to be honest, because
Yes.
we don't share so much our vulnerability.
Yes.
And actually, and that makes us feel so lonely because most of us also live abroad by themselves. So that was also the reason of why we did this podcast.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's remember our scope, no? Our
Yeah.
goal for this podcast was what this was exactly it. Shall we move on, like with other questions from
the guests, from the followers,
from
sorry.
exactly what people asked us on Insta. For example, someone asked us a very broad and complex topic, and those topics are politics and arts, the importance of theaters, and the future of ballet techniques. Now, although we believe all these these three aspects are very important and great topics. I believe for the first two, meaning the politics of art and the importance of theaters, because they're such a broad topic, we will need, I think, to reserve a full episode towards these topics. So, and we also want to be a bit more prepared. We don't just want to talk about it like this and not give the right weight to it. So I think we're gonna thank you for this inputs as topics, but we're gonna leave this for another time. But perhaps we can talk shortly about like the future of ballet techniques, as I hope probably this person meant maybe if the ballet techniques is willing to stay in the years, in the decades coming up, or if maybe ballet technique is going to disappear and transform more into a maybe contemporary neoclassical just style overall. I believe it's this what I understand, unless you two understand something different.
Yeah, what I think is that technique will go back to what I believe personally Lorenzo Alberti believes it was meant to do. Technique is a vehicle to make the audience feel something. I'm using my technique to touch a soul. I'm not using my technique to impress them in 7 periods, because the 7 periods after I finish my variation and it's the girl doing her variation, the audience already forgot that I did 7 periods. But they will not forget how I made them feel in that variation.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope and I wish and I think that slowly with the years we're gonna go back to that, to using technique as a vehicle to touch people's soul and not to impress, because it's just so cheap. I'm sorry, it's so cheap.
Lord, this episode is going like downfall.
I found it cheap when they're like, "Oh my god, but have you seen his spirit?" I'm like, "Yeah, and."
Yeah, that's the thing. The thing is like, no, like I think I want to ask Tazi first. Tazi, what do you think about this topic?
I would agree.
Except the cheap part.
I think this is a conversation that Lorenzo, you're taking it more into going, is it technique or artistry and, what? No, it's a very pedagogical question. And I feel I totally agree with you that technique is the base and it's the vehicle. But I'm looking at it more into the training aspect because that's the perspective I have.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm just thinking about it. How will, ballet training, will it change? Because at the moment we're seeing that we're just adding stuff. More and more schools, we recognize that a lot of companies are having more diverse repertoire and dancers should be able to perform any style that they're given. This is kind of the little expectation or hope for every dancer that anything can be thrown at them and they can deliver everything at
Just challenging.
They can be amazing at anything, when in reality, of course, you have your strengths as a dancer. You can't be amazing in everything.
Right.
I mean, chicas to the dancers that, are able to, but as you will recognize certain dancers for certain things, and that's totally okay.
Yeah.
But in the training, before, even in my time, it was ballet, a bit of contemporary, and jazz. And I think that was in a bit of flamenco like once a week.
Oh, yes,
But
flamenco.
now-
I love
yes.
that. I also done flamenco.
That's
Love
how I
it.
5
started.
years.
Are
We
you
all have done
kidding?
We
flamenco.
need to do,
But that's
yes.
how I started.
I
started
used to
because I
love
watched flamenco.
Playing la castagnetas, do la sevillanas, and all this kind of stuff. Oh my god, I love it.
God, I didn't
That's
know
so
that.
Then we should do a
Yes.
class together.
We should do, next episode, we're all gonna play castagnetas for you. We're gonna give you like a 10 minutes
Oh my
Totally.
concert.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Okay.
No, in general, and
continue.
now I just see how much I'm talking about vocational professional schools. There's just so much. People have dancers have now access to all the conditioning that sometimes I feel almost overpowers the ballet training. Sorry, maybe it doesn't overpower, because I don't think it overpowers, but it did in my school. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
This, to be honest, it's also a topic which I think I would like to invite someone talking about this topic. Maybe this specific on health manager or something like this, probably in the next episodes, because it's also something, because I've seen that now it happens more and more, which I do like it, because again, I talk for my own personal experience that I've noticed that by training in very different ways, that it wasn't just on ballet technique, it really made my ballet technique much better because my body was stronger. Although we have to recognize, or I have to recognize, that always when we say these things, we always talk about a subjective point of view.
Yeah.
So I cannot talk for everyone saying like this is the same because it applies to everyone, so everyone should follow that thing. So therefore, yeah, it's a topic to be developed, I think, and
Definitely, and I will take that back, which is, I think, having all this access and knowledge on our body and our functionality and physio, and this is just fantastic. And we've seen it develop so much, which I do think is a huge step forward. But just talking about just ballet class and how it will, yeah.
don't you think also, Tazi, because you have done the master, no?
Yes.
And when in the master, if I'm not wrong, you also you study a lot about like dance medicine, no?
Exactly, and it was incredible.
Yes.
It was so. I felt like I gained a whole new perspective of how to just even visualize how I approach my daily class and training, and how to program myself, and then how, as a teacher or a school director, how you can make this into a bigger vision, into an actual program.
And healthier.
Yes, and healthier. Yeah.
I believe this is like, so the answer for me to the questions of like about the future of the ballet techniques, I see it more and more that we're evolving in a way that we are being aware of that ballet techniques could be damaging somehow for our bodies if not considered well enough for like how our body needs to um, acknowledge the ballet technique. Let's put it this way. I don't know if it is correct, but I hope you all understood what I mean with that. So I think what gives us like dance medicine or just medicine and just a little bit more, I think more the years are gonna go on, we're just gonna find ways where yes, we can still do, we can still dance ballet techniques, but it's gonna be addressed in a more healthier and suitable way for people to keep living over their 30s. Hopefully. With their bodies, I mean, guys, I'm
It's
destroyed.
great. No, me too.
I am destroyed.
The way I recovered after shows when I was 18, I could party all night and go to class and do a show.
But me,
Now I need time
See,
to recover.
I feel better now
Really?
because I feel that now I started understanding my body.
This yes, for sure.
And I go into work with much less pain than I was when I was 20 because, I mean, when you're young, you're still discovering how your body works, and it changes all the time. And sometimes it takes like a little injury or a big injury, unfortunately, for some dancers to get to understand how their body works.
Yeah.
And what's best for them, and how important recovery and rest is.
Right.
So I'd say now I started kind of getting it.
To be honest, me too. Like the last years in the company were the ones actually, I mean, I was suffering because I felt tired, but I managed actually to have less injuries than my past years as a younger dancers. And also I do remember, I don't know how it was for you guys, like me, even when I was very young, I suffered a lot. I always suffered a lot with like a lot of inflammations, especially in my feet, like my ankles and my stuff like this. It was always a mess. So I've been suffering since like a long time. Even in my private school, I already had issues. Probably, again, this is a personal problem, which is also, I think, a reason why also I wanted to stop at some point, because I'm just tired of being in pain. That's something that drains me, drains my mind.
Did it change now? Like, are you pain-free?
Yes,
Oh, wow.
completely.
After
Yeah.
how long?
Let's say like, so after maybe 2 months, I still feel like now there are still some leftovers, I would call them.
Mhm.
For example, my left hip, which is still a problem, the left part of my back, also because my body is weird. It's also my hypermobile and it's weird. But yeah, for me, getting up in the morning, standing up from the bed, and being able to walk with my dog in the morning and feel that I don't have pain in my bunions or in my ankles, I don't have inflammation on my Achilles, and I can
Yeah.
actually reach down to put food inside the bowl of my dog without having.
Oh my
It's
God.
for me,
Wow.
That's
it's a big,
intense.
yeah. For me, this is yay. At least I gained that.
Yeah. I never struggle. Like, my back and my calves, I really need to take care, but they will not. Like, for example, I know my parents love to go for holidays and walk for kilometers. I cannot.
You
Like,
see,
my back gives up.
The other day I sneezed and my back gave in. And I was like, and I had just turned 30 and I was like, oh, is
it's
this
coming.
Is this a
Is this
sign?
what third is
dance
for?
problem or age problem?
No.
Yeah.
But okay, so then thank you for the person who asked us these questions. And as said before, like we're gonna probably talk about the other two topics in further episodes.
Yes.
But thank you very much. Let's move on with maybe another questions
Yeah,
from.
can I ask you something, Taz? What's the best advice a colleague or teacher have given you throughout your career?
Okay. Uh, so just I'll take a very recent one. I was in class and me usually just like overthinking everything. And we had a guest in our class, Sangun Lee from ENB now, very good friend of mine and just huge inspiration. Shout out to her.
The queen.
Hi, son.
And I was trying to figure out this attitude PK line for myself. And I was actually could see me practicing and everything. And then I go up to her, as I usually did when we were working together. And I go, I can't figure out this line. And she goes, what line? Just fucking move.
Oh yes.
Just fucking
See,
move.
Sangulis know. Sanguli knows.
Yeah.
That's
She
why.
So
knows.
yeah. Part of also relating part of the training and how we visualize, the ballet. It's just move.
That's good actually. That's
You
also
know?
an advice it was given to me some years back. Just move. I think sometimes we forget about that, right? Yeah.
We get so stuck into this image we have to create, and
On the
Yeah.
aesthetic, on positions and stuff, and it's like just move.
just move, and
It's such a
something
good advice.
beautiful will come out of it. And
Yeah. Move
it
it.
felt so different after that.
Yeah.
But on just like another advice that kind of stayed with me was from an ex-colleague as well. When he retired, Michael Tucker, in his speech, he said, don't take yourself too seriously.
Yes.
And I don't know why it touched me so much. It's such a simple phrase that has been used before, but I was like, yes. And no, especially knowing him and the humor that he has and the kind
He's
of
the best
also,
at this.
it's
He's really the
incredible.
best at this.
But also,
Also,
like
shout out to
great.
Michael.
Yeah, shout out to
Sorry.
Michael.
Hi, Michael.
Hi.
And just also seeing the way that he approaches his work. And take your work seriously, but not yourself. You don't need to take yourself so seriously. At some point, you have to detach
Yeah.
yourself from your work.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing, actually. And it's a great asset if you have that on yourself. If you know how to be ironic with yourself, if you know how to make jokes of yourself, it's great. Thank you, Tazi, for sharing that. Shall we move on with another question?
I think we'll have another one from the followers.
Exactly. One of our followers.
When you go and watch a performance as an audience member, Can you enjoy it, or is it more like work for you?
Hmm. No, I don't feel it is a work for me. To be honest, I really love going watch performances. It's not something I do very often, I have to be very honest, but I do love being an audience member. This is something that, this is also like maybe most in my recent years. Um, also, when I was inside, this should be already actually, it should have been already like, how to say, an
Bell.
alarm, a bell. Yeah, exactly. Because also when I was inside the company, sometimes I wished to be off of the shows because I wanted to watch it from the front.
Oh,
So I was fighting to have like a show where I was off and I couldn't do anything. So I was like, so I can go watch it from the front. So yeah, I do really, no, and I don't see it as work. I really enjoy it. I really see myself as an audience member and I sit there and I'm just ready to take the show in and yeah, experience everything.
Can I ask you something? Like, because for me personally, it's like I can watch a show obviously and like it, but also I always ask myself, would I want to be on that stage with them?
Ah,
Can you detach yourself for that?
yes.
yes, totally.
Yeah, sometimes I go, Tofini again.
So maybe we don't hear.
Sometimes I go, oh, I wish I was on stage with them. But I love going to watch performances, and I'm the kind of person that will give you a full review of every single detail, every costume, every moment. Um, Even like lighting, if I notice something, I will give a full review. And I'm honest, and even if I don't like it, I do like, yeah, I feel like how do you call them? Critic.
Yeah, that like yeah.
Yeah. But I always try to find like the good aspects and, what could have worked maybe better. I don't know. I like doing this analysis.
That's
That's
cool.
very nice. I also like doing that a lot. Yeah. that's very
And
cool.
if there's a live orchestra, I do love to watch.
The orchestra playing.
I do love to
Yes,
watch
it's
the orchestra
beautiful.
play.
It's such a
I
beautiful
agree.
thing.
I also like that very much.
So yeah, I think all of us we love watching shows, so for sure it's not seen as work for me at all.
We
Actually,
found-
I miss it because then I don't see it as work, but I see something that can help my own work because I can get inspired. And as dancer, especially if you work in the same theater all the time, you need fresh air, you need new inputs from something else.
Yeah.
And it could be any kind of show.
Yeah.
From a
Absolutely.
stand-up comedy to like the most dramatic piece
Yes. Yes.
possible.
Now we have quite a serious question from
Okay.
one of our listeners, which says, since the three of you have had past experiences in various other companies or freelancing, how have these experiences impacted and shaped you as a dancer and person today? Do you have any key learning moments that we think back to, or that help us mentally to guide ourselves?
I think I didn't plan to freelance. As I said, I left Polish National Ballet without anything because I couldn't stay there anymore. It became too much. And I was losing passion for the art form. And even my parents were like, you're super passionate and seeing you. My parents never told me what to do. But when things happened after, when I resigned, I thought my parents were like, oh my God, what did you do? And my father was like, oh, thank God. I was waiting for this time because you were losing passion again. So I left, wanted to audition around, then COVID hit, so I reorganized myself with freelancing, and for some strange reason, I had a few projects. Strange reason because COVID was so uncertain that I didn't know. But it really taught me, it was a huge difference for me because you didn't have to impress anyone. They wanted to work with you in the room. There was no first, second, third, 25th cast. It was you, punto. And they wanted to work with you and get the best out of you. And they thought that you was the best option to contribute to the show. So it gives you a different perspective. They didn't need a dancer. They need Lorenzo in that time. That's why they hired me for the project, which just makes you feel a 360 degree plus to the creation. And I kind of then approach my career, or I try, because sometimes I lose that, always as a freelance thing. It's a project, but I like working for a company is my project. I love it, but it's a project. I want to have also other stuff in the meantime, which is like getting a drink. Because part of my freelance thing, I also went to work in a restaurant because I wanted to. I was like, I'm 22. I want to do experiences that people at 22 years old do. I left home at 13, graduated, went to the company right away, like after not even a month after graduating. So I never had that moment of what do people at 22 years old do? And you see stories, you have experiences, and also I must say that the way I was very liked by the restaurant because I was very efficient. I was always on time, and this discipline was coming from ballet. I'm a Virgo myself, and I
Transferable skills.
yeah, but dance really has transmitted me that, and it's something that I would bring everywhere whenever I do. But the freelance scene made me realize that actually it's not, again, it's always connecting. It's not just me working for the theater, but the theater has to work for me, respect me as a human being, my own space and interest. So yeah,
Lovely. So you gained a lot actually.
very much. And I'm someone that I like to have my own flat, my colleagues, my people, to know my season. So I eventually went back to full company, but what it gave me freelancing, I try to bring that also my not freelancing era, which is this one right now. Yeah.
Tazia, for you?
For me, I would say that, I mean, with the changing companies, some came unexpected, some were my decision. So it's a very mixed relationship I have with this thing. But I would say more than shaping me as a dancer, which of course it did. I've met incredible teachers in all these companies, different styles, different choreographers, repertoire. At some point, I was also very young, but doing honestly only soloist things. So, in that naive young age, you just throw yourself in these things without worries. And yeah, I've learned a lot. And I think I can look back also at myself in this younger, more naive Taz, and have a lot to learn from because some of these insecurities came later.
Yeah.
Especially when I was looking for a job and I was without a job and I made that decision to leave. So if anything, I feel that what it shaped me was more as a person. It broke me down to pieces and I had to find a way to rebuild myself.
Wow.
So I can even trace every moment back to like my rock bottom and then how slowly things started to just align. I was very lucky to have a very strong support group. I had notification. I was very lucky
Did
to
we get a
have
sponsor?
I was very lucky to have a good support group with me because I think at some point it was getting too much. And I felt unhelpable. Like it was to that point. But you hit that rock bottom and then it was funny. It started going up when I stopped that contract. When that contract ended, I had a guest contract for like 4 or 5 months and that ended and suddenly not having anything. You belong to no one. You are by yourself. This is when, okay, I need to pull myself together and you just have yourself to trust. And if you don't have that belief in yourself, no one's gonna hold your hand.
Survival mode.
Exactly. And that was a lesson. No one's gonna hold your hand. You're out there alone.
No.
Yeah. And even the little restrictions I put myself, like, I will never do a guesting again. Well, what did I get next? Another guesting contract. So yeah, just don't put these limitations to yourself. And
Right. That's nice.
I had a lot of growing up, also life-wise. Yeah.
That's good. That's very nice. Moving on.
Moving on. Well, now we have a less serious question.
Good.
One of our listeners is very interested to hear what other podcast do we like to listen to.
Oh, that's very nice.
Cute. Should I start?
Yes, please.
So, I have a few. One is for sure the stage right side with James Whiteside, the principal dancer from ABT.
Okay.
He cracks me up, like his humor. I found him super funny. He can go from the most serious thing and experiences on stage, injuries, anything really, to the most funny stuff ever in a matter of like seconds. So I have like I really laugh and it's really entertaining for me. I listen to Conversations on Dance from Michael Schombreden, who was also in our podcast in the last episode.
Shout out to Michael.
Yeah, hi Michael. Rebecca King Ferraris with him doing this podcast. And then it's this other Italian podcast called Passa dal Basement di Gianluca Gazzoli, which he interviews like really anyone, singers, actors, athletes, anyone, really anyone. And, it's entertaining.
It's very cool.
No. You, Franci?
My three podcasts I want to give a shout out. Two of them are not dance podcasts, but I'd really recommend them. One is A Bit of Optimism from Simon Sinek. And I think this is the most inspiring and interesting talks you can hear, at least for me at the moment. So I really recommend it. The other one is Rethinking from Adam Grant, also very inspiring. And then the third one, it's a podcast which is not running anymore, and it ran in 2020, and it's from House Dancers Overseas, and it's actually called like this. This person, she's an ex dancer, and now, if I'm not wrong, she's a nutritionist and a doctor. I don't remember her real name. Anyway, but House Dancers Overseas. House as like AUS. Dancers Overseas.
Is she Australian? No.
Maybe House for Australian.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be.
Oh, could be. See, I thought it was like Outside Dancers Overseas.
No,
the very German translation.
No, that's why I wanted to. Yeah, but maybe because maybe she's based in Germany. We don't know. But anyway, the podcast you find it's still there, and it's called like this. She also has an Instagram page, which is also quite interesting, and in this run of the podcast that she has done in 2020, there are some very interesting topics that would be nice to listen to if I were in.
Nice. You, Tassie?
Well, I'm not so much of a podcast person. I do have my random moments. I like to watch YouTube videos. I watch a lot of Simon Sinek as well. And I do listen to the Confident Dancer podcast by Kirsten Kemp. She's a dear friend of mine, and she's a mindset coach for dancers. So she deals with ups and downs of the life of a dancer, and she helps you train your mind so that you can present your most confident self and fulfill your full potential. So I feel like she has a really realistic and sensitive approach, very positive, and it's very inspiring. I feel like I can really relate to that, and a lot of dancers too. And another one that I listen to has nothing to do with dance at all. I do love getting deep into things that I get a bit obsessed by, whether it's books or series.
Or cats.
Or cats. So a podcast that I really love is the Good Omens podcast from TV Podcast Industries, which goes a bit deep into analyzing this series that I just became seriously obsessed by.
Lovely.
So something completely unrelated to dance.
Yeah. Perfect. Sometimes you also need that.
Guys, That was an episode.
That was an episode.
We
That
might
was-
have to divide it in two parts.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I think this is gonna be the end of it. Probably
Yeah.
this is the end of the second part already.
Yes.
So
Please let us know if you find this interesting. Really, your feedback, guys, is really important for us to know, again, if you have to adapt our vision and things like this. So please
yeah,
give us
basically
inputs.
your inputs and your feedbacks shape also the way this podcast is going, because
Yeah.
it's very important for us. That is also for you very nice and interesting to
And that
listen.
resonates also.
And that resonates also with you. So again, also, if you would like to address some more topics, please feel free either to write it in the comments in our Spotify, or to write us on Instagram by DM, or even in the comments when we publish the episodes. Just feel free to reach out, even in our email. Everything is linked in our bio on Instagram.
Exactly.
And keep those questions coming.
Yes.
Yes.
And stay kunstlich. Kunstig.
Stay
I don't remember.
Kunstlich.
kunstlich.
Yeah. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Thank you.
Kunst. And all.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. If you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any artful updates. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Amazon Music. Also, make sure to follow us on Instagram at Kunst and all for more content. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to reach out and share your feedback. We are Lorenzo, Nastazia, and Francesco. Until next time, stay kunstig.
Amazing.